Good morning, everybody. Today, I am going to talk to you about my hunt for a new home. I've been doing a lot of research on the upper Washington state area, and I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing. I pretty much have like a 5-year plan. Makes me think of the movie Big Daddy, where they asked the one gentleman, what's your 5-year plan? And he said, well, Adam Sandler was laughing. And he said, what, to not die? Which is my response a lot of times when people ask me things as far as like, what are your goals? And, what are you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to not die. Speaking of which, I managed to step off of a curb last Sunday, and I thought it was just going to heal. I didn't think it was really a big deal. And then yesterday, I kind of moved my foot to the side, and my daughter looked at me and she was like, "Oh." And then I said, What's wrong with my foot?" And she said, "Yeah, I think you need to go to the doctor." So we made an appointment. Weirdly enough, I guess there was a strike at Kaiser. I don't know, but made the appointment, got in the same day, and I now have this super cool looking shoe that I get to walk around in. They did x-rays. I don't know if there's a sprain or uh, it could just be like a torn ligament, or I could have broke something and need surgery. So I'm going to hope not on that last part. And I'm going to hope that just my lack of ability to walk and my clumsiness, apparently, didn't just cause me to now have to go in and have surgery. I've heard horrible stories about people having to go and get like their bones rebroken because they're not healing the right way. Anyway, I went in and took care of that yesterday. And I was really, I gotta say, like people give Kaiser a really bad rap, but they're very friendly and helpful, and everything was very efficient. Some people might not like that. I think maybe being prior Air Force or prior military, I kind of prefer that because you just went to the doctor. You didn't have a specific doctor. So you needed to see a doctor for something. You booked the appointment and they set you up and you were good to go. You didn't really get to say, well, I'd really like to have this doctor instead. Or, you know, I'm going in for a lady appointment. So could I have a lady do the exam? Now, maybe you could, but I was too timid to ask those questions. And so if they said, hey, you get Dr. Dude to do all your lady appointments, then I would just be like, okay, well, I guess we're going to do this. And everything was fine. And they did their job. They did what they were supposed to do. So that was not really an issue, but definitely different because whenever I go to call to make an appointment with Kaiser, they're always like, well, do you want your primary care physician? And I'm just kind of like, I don't really care who sees me, whatever, just, the fastest that you can get me in there and get it checked out, whatever it is. A busted head, a busted foot, so many fun things. Anyway, back to the house hunting, right? So I've looked at the possibilities. I went on Zillow.com. I know there's other websites to go on to as well, but I kind of just opted for Zillow. I was pretty impressed. It reminded me of where I grew up in Michigan, kind of with the trees and the streams and all of that. Seemed like there were maybe more lakes. I don't know, but then that's weird because Michigan is surrounded by lakes, so maybe not. Maybe I just didn't get out enough in Michigan. I did like it though, and I do think that in 4 to 5 years, I want to either buy a house up there that is like in the middle of the woods, or I want to, Buster, what do you want to do? Come up here. No, you don't want to come up here? Well, normally when Buster comes up and tries to sit next to me, Molly gets jealous and then she has to scoot in. And now their faces are right in my face and they start growling. And I don't like that because I'm just imagining that I don't have a nose anymore because they've eaten it trying to battle their way in to be on top of me. I've been told I am pretty much like one of the Disney princesses, that all of the animals want to be on me. So if I had ferrets or squirrels or the birds outside, and if they were in the house right now, they would be crawling on me and sitting on top of my head. I'm not going to try to see if that's true or not, but that's what I've been told. Back to Washington State, upper Washington State, and away from like populated areas. I don't want to be there. I could 100% see myself living there. I would have at least 2 acres to 10 acres would be fabulous. And uh I would fence in an area because I've been told that there are bears. A friend of mine came to visit recently. It was a lot of fun. We got to go out and sit together and have a chat. And they live in Alaska, and it sounded amazing. It sounded absolutely perfect. The only thing is that I don't know if I'm built for that far away from things that, like I'm not a Mrs. Fix-It, and Yuri's pretty good with it, but I'm just not. And to need to be so self-reliant, I don't know if I'm cut out for that. So I figured like Washington State is kind of like a middle ground, I would think. I don't know. I've never lived there, so maybe I'm completely wrong. Here, where we're at, everything's right at your door or whatever. You can get food delivered to your house. You can do this. I don't really care about that. I'm more worried about like there's a leak somewhere and I don't know what to do and I can't get anybody to help me. So back to Washington State. It seems like it's tax friendly, which is something I like because what I would like to do is just retire and just live there and have my animals, and maybe write some books. I don't know if I'll still be into that at that point, but it's been ruminating in my mind. I've been thinking about it a lot with this furlough. Speaking of the furlough, I don't know if well, I do know my brain is very different than a lot of people that I know and that I've come in contact with. And a lot of people really, really want to be at work or to like I don't know. It's like there's something missing out of their life if they're not at work. I'm not like that. I'm not lazy. That's not it. I'm just if I'm told that I'm on a furlough and I can't work, like actual work that would be paying me, then I'm going to read a book. This one's about the Green River serial killer. I know, morbid. I get it. But I don't know. Things just certain topics just interest me. Like, how can you do that? But I'm not going to sit there and worry about what's not happening because in my mind, I myself am perfectly it's like going on day 21, 3 weeks almost of this, and I have not been bored yet. Maybe because I'm hurting myself and so I'm toting myself to the doctor for things. Could be. Maybe because I have children that live in the house and they're going to college, so they still kind of need me. And so I'm perfectly busy with things to do, even when I'm holed up, having to keep my foot elevated while I wait for the x ray results to tell me if I did something or didn't. Yeah, I don't, if you tell me not to work, I'm not going to work at that job. Like, my house has never been cleaner, which is great. But some people just don't their minds don't work that way, and I'm not judging them, I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I'm just saying that hopefully they're not judging me and saying that the way that I'm reacting is wrong, because it's not that I don't care about anybody, it's just that I'm for the most part, rule follower, and if you tell me that the rules are such a way then I'm going to follow those rules. Therefore, if the rule is that you eat pumpkin bread every Wednesday when you're on a furlough, and if you don't do that, then something bad is going to happen, then you better believe I'm eating pumpkin bread. I like pumpkin bread, so it's not really a hard stretch for me. So there you have it. So that's why it works like that. It just makes it easier. I want to give you some numbers. I had to write them down. All right. So the furlough began on 1 October, right? 900,000 workers are furloughed right now. So 900,000 of us are sitting on their couches, mowing their lawn, raking their dirt if they live in the desert like I do, whatever, not working, not doing what they normally do to get paid for very important jobs, things, that keep the wheels going and that keep us safe. There are 700,000 workers that are working right now, but they're unpaid workers. So I think they called them like exempted employees. We're supposed to get back paid, all of us. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not. My thought is this: the rules don't seem to be very clear. And so there's a rule that we're supposed to get back paid. It was started in 2019. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to get back paid, because lately it seems like the rules are just being made up as they go. And therefore, I can't really put a lot of stock in, well, I'm just going to get back paid, so it's okay. So I have to be very careful about how I spend my money, because I might not be getting paid for this, which makes sense to most people, right? They're like, well, you're not working, you're sitting on a couch with your dog. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But I didn't make that choice. That was not me that chose to do this. And if they called me right now and said, go back to work, I would. So I feel like I should get paid. Maybe the people that can't come to this decision and do their job, maybe they shouldn't get paid. But that's not going to happen. And so I sit here with my dog, right? So 900,000 of us sitting here. Hopefully they have a dog. Every single week is $15 billion in gross domestic product that we are losing every single week. So multiply that by 3, my little mathematicians out there, and what do you have for this one ridiculous shutdown? May or may not stop. I don't know. I've read that this could go on until Thanksgiving, which, I love sitting here with my animals, but not everybody's in this situation. And some people are really, really hurting. So, probably a good idea to not let that happen. I also have use or lose leave, and, I kind of want to just use it. Let's see what else. That's really it. Just, the things that I've been doing, waiting for my x rays. And on Thursday, I will be doing an author reading in Rosamond, California at the library. Really, really excited about it. It's really going to be fun. Like I've come up with some goofy little, it's like a game quiz. I kind of do it for like every place that I've done a reading for so far. And I'm hoping to see a lot of people there, or at least some people there. I will be there. Molly won't be there. I'll still be in this weird little shoe, so that'll be fun. I've picked some pretty fun little excerpts out of the book Finding Bonnie to read for the people that are there, and we're gonna have a good time. So keep your head up, keep your chin up, do things that make you happy. Look at your future retirement options, if that's a thing, or go play in your garden, or let your dog lick you, because I have actually read that it's comforting to them to lick you. I don't know why, but I let her do it. It's weird, I know, probably creepy, but I'm weird, probably creepy. Hey, I guess it all goes together. You guys have a great day. I am going to figure out what I need to get done today. Maybe clean some more. That's, I'm good at that. And it's comforting. I instead of instead of licking people, I clean my house.